I stand in support of this amendment as well. So the problem is that in our communities, our constituents are begging us for public safety. That's probably most of the emails that I'm getting are public safety. So to standard for unconditional release for a person charged with a crime of violence pursuant a sex offense, class 1, class 2, or class 3. So we don't want them to have unconditional release. And let's talk about what those classes are. Class 1 felony sex offense is the most serious. These involve extreme harm, violence, or repeat predatory behavior. They're sex assault involving a serious bodily injury, sex assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated sex assault of a child, which is an example is repeated abuse, use of force, threats, or causing injury, sex assault committed by someone in a position of trust with aggravating factors. And what we're seeing in our counties are these are teachers, positions of trust, that continue to violate these positions of trust. Repeat sexual offenders with prior convictions. This often involves force, violence, or severe exploitation, and it often can carry life imprisonment or extremely long sentences, mandatory sex offender registration for life. Class 2 felony sex offenses, still very serious, but typically without the highest level of violence or aggravation seen in class 1. This can involve sexual assault, rape, involving force or threat of force, sexual assault on a child without extreme aggravating factors, sexual exploitation of a child, which is like production, distribution of child pornography, and incest involving a minor. That's class 2. Significant prison time, often decades possible, depending on sentencing laws. Mandatory sex offender registration may involve coercion, manipulation, or abuse of power. Class 3 felony sex offenses, serious offenses, but generally involving less force or lower levels of aggravation compared to class 1 and 2. Example, sexual assault where the victim is incapable of consent, like being intoxicated or unconscious, but without force. Unlawful sexual contact involving coercion but not severe violence. Certain internet luring or enticement offenses involving minors. Failure to register as a sex offender. Prison or significant jail time still requires sex offender registration and often involves lack of consent rather than overt violence. So that's what we want to carve out with this amendment. We want to make sure people that do the worst of the worst crimes in our state, often with significant violence, don't get unconditional release.